Okay, great. The time is 10 and we should be ready to get started. We can still see a couple of people logging in, so take it a little bit slow here in the beginning and giving them a couple of seconds. I hope you can hear us and see us fine. If you experience any issues, then you can please just type in the panel if you have any trouble in hearing us or so on. Great. Do you think we should get started, Frederick?
Let's get started.
Okay, great. So welcome to today's webinar about how B2B marketeers can get the most out of HubSpot. So yeah, we'll have a exciting half an hour ahead of us. So we will gonna go through some practicals first. So this will be a 35-minute webinar. If you have any questions during the webinar, then please just type them in the panel during the webinar, or you can also wait until the end if you want to. And this webinar is for you that are using or thinking about using HubSpot as marketing automation tool. If you use another marketing automation tool, that is fine, but the examples that we are going to show is from HubSpot. And my name is Cecilia Bylund, and I'm a senior inbound consultant at Bright Vision and also marketing automation specialist. I've been working with HubSpot for about 7 years. So basically, yeah, that's what I do. And together with me here today, I have Frederick.
Hello, my name is Frederick. So I've been working with sales and marketing for 10 years now. And it's been great to be on this journey of digital marketing. So my background before that is business and tech. So that's where I come from.
Great. And a little bit introduction of who we are.
Yes, so Bright Vision is a B2B marketing agency that generates leads for tech companies across Europe. So we have been doing this for 20 years now, and we're fortunate to work with some really exciting clients, as you can see on the slide here. So our services span both inbound and outbound, since we believe in the integrated approach. So everything from telemarketing to inbound marketing. And tech, that's our niche. So our clients usually appreciate that we really understand their challenges and their target groups. Also, we understand that marketing today is about generating business. So that is always something that we align with our goals.
Great, thank you for that. And to get everyone, to get us started, we are going to do a quick poll. So it will be only 2 questions with yes and no answers, just so we can understand your marketing automation a little bit better. So you're going to answer the questions in the panel. So first, I'm going to launch the first question here. So the question is, here we go. Do you have a marketing automation system in place? Yes or no? So please type in your answer.
So we got about 60% of you that has a marketing automation system in place.
Great. So that's great for us to know. So we close the first question and we launch our other question. That is, do you use HubSpot as your marketing automation system? Oh, exciting to see the numbers here. It's all 50-50, 60-40. Yeah, so 60% is using HubSpot. So that's good. Perfect to know.
Seems like you have logged into the right webinar.
Exactly. So I'm gonna open that up. So great. So let's continue with the webinar. So first we're going to talk about HubSpot and the inbound methodology. So it's very important for you to understand the inbound methodology, as the HubSpot software lives and breathes the inbound methodology. So this is the best strategy to turn strangers into customers and promoters of your business. And this basically brings down to a set of actions that several HubSpot tools can help you implement. And the goal here is to push someone from being a stranger into being a customer and a promoter of your business. And this we do with certain activities. So first, we have a stranger that we want to attract into becoming a visitor. And this we are doing by blog posts, social media, SEO, and programmatic ads, and so on. And then when we have the visitor, our aim is to convert them into a lead. And to convert them into a lead, it's important that we work with great landing pages, great gated content, our database, and so on. And when we have them as a lead, it's important to close them as customers. And to close the leads to our customers, we have to work with email workflows, lead scoring, our CRM integrations, and so on. And then ultimately, we want to turn our customers into promoters of our business. And that we can do with social media, smart call to actions, email workflows, and so on. So here is basically the entire flow. And now we're going to look at the lead journey more in detail.
Yes, so here we're looking at a simplified journey of how a visitor can be turned into a customer. And as you can see, it's not a straight line, and it also takes a lot of time. So working from visitor to customer is a longer journey than the normal sales cycle that we are used to. So the good thing though is that we have learned to navigate through this journey. Today we can actually create campaigns that we know will generate leads, and we can also estimate the cost per lead fairly well. So marketing today is far from a black box. Because of digital, it's instead highly measurable and predictable. So it doesn't mean it's easy, but it is. You do have a lot more insights to work with today. However, the potential is still very high for most companies. So studies show that marketing organizations that are mature in marketing perform way better than less mature marketing organizations. So investing in a marketing platform such as HubSpot is more or less necessary to achieve that level of maturity. So let's look at some further advice here. So first of all, turning leads into clients takes time. So make sure that you always have a plan for the leads coming in. So there should always be a next step all the way to close deal, and possibly even beyond that to promoters. So HubSpot, for example, offers great automation tools, which makes it easy to nurture deals and create automation workflows for the sales funnel as well. And secondly, collaboration between sales and marketing is very important. Can't stress that enough. So if you can, you really should work in the same platform and definitely in the same processes. And thirdly, bridging the gap between sales and marketing, that requires at least two things. So first of all, it requires that you do have shared definitions of what is a qualified lead. Normally you use MQL or SQL, and you define that together. And secondly, you need someone that can actually qualify those leads. If you employ someone in marketing, usually that's an SDR role, a person that follows up on inbound leads and possibly reaches out to hot leads. And if you're a small organization, you can also choose to work with someone at sales. Normally that's a specific person that work together with you closely, because senior key account managers and so on, sometimes they won't follow up on the leads that you send them anyway. So it's better to find an alliance with someone that you can work with, and we would recommend you to set up weekly meetings with that person to go through the lead list.
Yeah, great. There's some great advice here. And now we're gonna dive into our favorite HubSpot features, you can say. Some 8 great features that you should know about if you would like to maximize your HubSpot efforts. First up is get access to your data.
Yeah, so what do we mean by that? So something that we see all the time is that the data is spread out in many different platforms and possibly even in Excel spreadsheets. So it turns out that all of the data that is so valuable is not being used by a lot of companies. So many fail to connect different systems with integrations, or they spend a lot of time jumping between systems and reports to gather data. So a really great thing with, for example, HubSpot is that you get all of that for free, both marketing data and sales data. So everything is in one place. And this is to make sure that you know things like what is the conversion rates on your landing pages, which blog posts are having the most views, how many new contacts did we create this week compared to last week, or how many closed deals did we get from the contacts that we generated from marketing. And there's a lot of other statistics that you really should know on a daily basis. And in HubSpot, everyone get access to this data super simple by the dashboard. It's default when you log in, so everyone, including everyone in your team, will be fully updated, and with that you can make a lot of better decisions since you have more insights. And moving on to some other features about accessing your data. So we all know that we should segment our sendouts and emails. So why are we not doing that today? Our experience is that this also takes time and it can be hard. But HubSpot makes this easier. So if you work with dynamic lists, you can have automatically updated lists of, for example, current clients, different personas, lost clients, or a combination of all of these. So since the data is shared between marketing and sales, you can also work faster with these sendouts because you don't have to go through sales to clean the lists. And also you don't have to work with Excel to continuously make a new list. So you set up a bunch of dynamic lists and you will have access to those and be able to make your sendouts a lot quicker.
Great. And we're going to continue on the topic about accessing your data. It's my favorite part, the PPC and social media. So this is a very important part, and we're going to start out with the ads. So I really recommend you to connect your ad channels like Google Ads, LinkedIn ads, and Facebook ads to HubSpot. This will save you a lot of time and give you much in return. But I don't recommend you to manage your ads in HubSpot. That is honestly best done in the medium itself. But I really recommend you to work and understand the data in HubSpot, because when you connect these channels, you will get the leads directly into HubSpot, and you can see exactly what ad that the lead converted from, which will give you great insights. You can also keep track of spend and ROI because HubSpot kind of can calculate automatically what leads is becoming a customers with a deal. So then you can see in HubSpot, without having to do basically anything, what ROI your ads are getting. And sales will love you for this as well, because they will learn, and you will learn so much about your advertisement. So this is a great tips. And then we also have social media. And this is the same for ads. You should manage your social media organically within the medium itself. But you can do that in HubSpot too, and that works fairly well, I would say. But the data in HubSpot and the data and reporting in HubSpot is great because the views are so simple, and you can see all your social media on one place. So you can keep track of your followers from week to week. You can check the clicks, impressions, your activity, how many posts you page per week, and so on. So this will really give you some great insights. So knowing how to access your data is key. So we move away from the data and dive into another important features, which is workflows. And first up, we have the notifications workflows that we want to tip you about. So make sure to set up notifications with workflows to create engagement and team spirit about your leads, as well as insights, of course. So the first tip is to set up a workflow so an email is automatically sent out to the team when someone wins a deal. This way you can celebrate instantly. And the other tip is to send out a notification when an inbound lead is generating a deal. So this will make you understand what of your inbound leads that is generating a deal, so you can make sure where to invest your digital marketing budget. So you can see like, okay, hey, we have an inbound lead that generated a deal, and he or she was from a LinkedIn ad, and he or she clicked these pages. This will give you a great, valuable insight. And then also you should set up a notification when an inbound lead is created. That's very easy. You get a notification saying, hey, you have a new lead. This person downloaded or signed up to this, and he or she is a CIO or CRO and on whatever company. That would also learn you a lot about your leads. And lastly, for notifications, you should also, when you have a new SQL, a sales qualified lead, you should automatically set a salesperson to become owner, as well as setting a task on this salesperson. Because when you generate an SQL, then the salesperson will get a task saying that they should follow up directly with an email or a phone call, or how they prefer. Great, and we can keep talking about workflows. And my other tip is the form submission workflows that you should work with when you have a little bit of colder leads coming in. So for example, if you have leads coming in from an ebook or a webinar, you should set up a nurture flow for this. Might be basic to some, but some of you probably aren't working with it, so it's very important to understand. So for example, first you can set up an email saying, hey, thank you for your download, you can read it here. Then a couple of days later, you can send out an email saying, hey, since you like this ebook, perhaps you also would enjoy this blog post. And then a couple of days later, you can send out a case saying, hey, since you like this blog post, perhaps you want to learn about this specific client case that we did. And then lastly, a couple of days later, an email going out saying, hey, would you like to book a meeting, or do you want to get a demo? And then hopefully you have turned this cold lead into being a sales qualified lead, or at least a little bit more mature. So this is very simple to set up, so you should do this for all your content. And my last tips when it comes to workflow is the page view workflows. So basically, you can start with defining some of your key topic areas and then create a series of targeted emails to these visitors with workflows. So for example, if you have a specific service, then you can say that everyone that visiting that URL with that service in the slug should be triggering this workflow. So everyone that like visiting a page with Azure should get this set of emails, and then you can set that up for your most important services. So the key takeaway here is to use workflow to nurture your leads into SQLs. That's the most important thing. And of course, also use it as notifications so you can learn more about your great leads. Great.
So our third recommended feature in HubSpot is the landing page tool. It is really powerful. Most of you might not know that HubSpot is also a CMS tool. So you can create entire websites with HubSpot. So with module-based templates, anyone in your team can create really great landing pages, and you can still retain enough control to make sure that every page looks good and follows your graphical guideline. So it's really quick and easy to work with. So you will save a lot of time, which is much needed for both large and small teams. You still have possibility to go really creative with the pages. So With drag and drop editors, you might struggle with more complex modules and content, but with HubSpot modules, you can create as complex modules as you need with complex content, and also advanced interactive content if needed. So we're happy to help you out if you would like any help with that. No matter how good of a landing page creator it is, please note that following landing page best practices will give you higher conversion rates. So some simple rules to follow there.
Yeah, we won't go through landing page best practice today, but you can just do some research into HubSpot's library, and you will find some great examples on how to optimize your landing pages. Great, and from landing pages to another important tips, and that is one of my favorites, which is very good for ABM. So when you work with landing pages, you can also work with smart content. And with smart content, a module can display different version of your content based on certain viewer criteria. So you can show one module with one text to one list, and then the same module with another text to another list. So perhaps if you have two different persona, one CEO and one CIO, for example, you perhaps want to have different texts towards these two, but you don't want to create multiple pages because that will be a huge mess, but you want to have kind of just different messages towards them. So then basically you can just divide them into lists and then say that this module will be showed to this persona and that module will be showed to that persona. And one other thing is, you probably know about this, but it's a very good feature with HubSpot, is that you can talk directly to your potential client. So basically all the fields that you have in HubSpot can be used as personalization tokens. So what we see here in front of us is the highlighted in orange is the personalization tokens. So basically this email can be sent out to many people, but the highlighted sections will display differently depending on how you send them to. So that was some landing pages advices, and then we also have the forms. That is, you can't do HubSpot without forms, right? But two features here that you should know about is the hidden fields. That is when you set a specific field to be something, and then it's hidden for the viewer. So for example, this is great for assigning persona directly. So let's say that you have a webinar for CIOs, then you want everyone that fills out the form to become that specific persona, right? So that you can do by just setting their persona directly without them having to choose. And another example is if you have people submitting, they request a demo or they book a meeting, they're probably sales qualified leads. So then you can just say that everyone that fills out these forms are sales qualified leads. And that will make your data so much more structured. And the other thing is the progressive field function. That is really about, that allows you to make your forms smarter and more efficient. So over time, you can learn more about your leads without asking them the same questions all over again. And you don't have to ask for too much information prior to build trust. So this means that you can add, if someone has answered a question already, you can swap that out to another question. So that means that you can learn more and more and more about your leads without asking them too much information the first time. So that's pretty good.
Yeah.
And then we have another important features, that's lead scoring.
Yes, moving on to lead scoring, which I'm sure many of you are interested in. So lead scoring is basically assigning scores to behaviors. And by doing that, we can set a certain score that when that score is reached, we know that this is a qualified lead. So it sounds simple, but our tip is to start using it yourself together with a notification workflow so that you get notified when leads reach that certain lead score. And that makes it easier for you to fine tune it, making sure that the leads coming through are really qualified. So once you've done that, you can start to involve sales. But when you do that, as we said earlier, please start with someone friendly that you can work close with. Set up weekly meetings to go through the lead lists. So knowing how to set up the scores can be hard, but just start simple and work from there and adjust it over time. And hopefully you will get automatically qualified leads. So moving on to integrations.
Yeah, this is just a quick slide. I just wanted to mention that HubSpot has a great API to boost efficiency. So there are a lot of great integrations that you can do with the HubSpot app marketplace. You can integrate the tools you need for your business and your HubSpot account. Many are free, but some also comes with a cost. But this is really good. I really recommend you to check it out. My personal favorite is the one with GoToWebinar. If you host a lot of webinars with GoToWebinar, you should definitely connect that with HubSpot, because it's so simple. You can build a nice landing page in HubSpot and then sync that with GoToWebinar, so confirmation emails and so on are sent directly from GoToWebinar. So yeah, that's basically what we wanted to say here.
Yeah. Our seventh recommended feature in HubSpot, live chat and chatbots. So I think you all know about live chats, that you can reach out to companies through the website. Both of these are really easy to implement. You just add the tracking code to your website and you're up and running. So chatbots are interesting. There's different ones, but one use case for chatbots could be that you can substitute forms. So for example, you can ask a question about which topic the visitor is interested in, and then you create a logical flow of questions and answers. And when done right, you can generate leads from that and also qualify leads. So that's a really great tip.
Yeah, it's good. We use it by ourselves, and I think, yeah, we got a couple of leads per week on it, and also it's a nice feature for our customers that they can reach out to. So as Fredrik said, it's very easy to use. And our last HubSpot favorite features is the free certifications. So HubSpot offers a bunch of great knowledge. And this is our two favorite, and everyone that are using HubSpot or thinking about using HubSpot should definitely take these two courses. So the inbound course, get certified in the inbound methodology, a couple of hours, ends with an exam, really good. And also the marketing software. Everyone that are going to use HubSpot should take these courses. This is basic, and yeah, do it. Perfect. So our last chapter here today is to discuss common HubSpot pitfalls. So we're going to look at the most common reasons marketeers fail with HubSpot. Some things that we see that many of our clients tend to do. So you think purchasing the software will solve your problems. This is not right. That won't solve your problem. You need to invest time to learn and own HubSpot to succeed. So it takes a lot of effort. And the other thing is you underestimate the implementation phase. So the implementation phase is the most important phase, and it's also it could be hard and time consuming, but you really need to get this right. You need to get the templates right, you need to get the setup right, you need to get your lists and emails and fields and technical setup right. So that is very important. And another thing is that you don't educate and engage. You don't own it. Someone needs to own the HubSpot question and be mainly responsible. And the other thing, you don't collaborate with sales. I won't say anything more about that, but that is as important as ever. You don't have good naming conventions. Please have good naming convention. Make sure you name everything with a thought. Landing pages, LP, thank you pages, TP, cases with a case that makes that, so you can search for pages and link internally without issues. And the most important thing here is that you don't produce any good content. This is so important, so I actually have 2 extra slides on it. because you will never succeed with HubSpot unless your content is great. So you can never unleash the power with HubSpot if you don't have any good content. So then the question is, how do you do? Well, you have to understand the buyer's journey and learn your buyer persona. So it's basically about creating content for the different stages in the buyer's journey. So in the awareness phase, your potential client is focusing on the problem. So he or she has a problem. They're aware of they have a problem, and your content should be focusing on solving that. And an ebook is a good content type to use here. And then we have the consideration phase, and here your potential client is focusing on a specific solution for that problem. So he knows what problem he has and he searches for solutions. So usually a webinar can be good to have here that are focusing on solutions. And then lastly, the decision stage, your potential client is focusing on who they want to work with. So here it's important to have cases and comparison guides and so on. So basically, this is about getting a lead from the awareness stage to consideration stage to decision stage with the right kind of content. So a quick wrap up.
Yeah, so the key takeaway from how to work better with HubSpot and yield more value. So we believe this is a journey that requires you to invest time and effort. So it will take some time. Sometimes we get expectations that this is something that we set up and then we're done, but it's really not like that. So instead of looking this as a process of some weeks or months, you should be looking at this as a process that can take some years. Because it is about learning by the data that you receive, and also it takes a lot of time to set all of these workflows up, nurturing flows. So you kind of invest in creating these. So you start with one, and then you have 2 or 3, and after a lot of time, you have maybe 10, 15, or 20 of these, and that is when you get the real performance boost. So if you invest time and effort, though, we're pretty sure that you will start seeing results.
Great. And if you think that everything here sounds a bit overwhelming, we are here to help you to maximize your HubSpot efforts. We're a HubSpot Gold partner, so we have done this for several clients. And how we can help is we do HubSpot implementations for sales, service, and marketing. We do offer HubSpot support where no retainer is needed. We also offer HubSpot strategy workshops and also inbound campaigns and content creations. And we have a special offer today to everyone that joined this webinar. Is if you buy any of our HubSpot services, you will get the first 4 hours for free. So it's a pretty good offer. So just contact us if you want to know more about it. Great. So with that said, do we have any questions? Yes, we actually have 2 questions. What is the benefit of setting up a landing page in HubSpot versus making it on your own website? There's a lot of benefits.
Yeah.
You go ahead.
So first of all, you can do it both ways. But normally the biggest benefits that we see is that first of all, it's really simple to set up new landing pages, especially if you're a big marketing team. Usually we find it easier to work with a landing page tool in HubSpot, adding new landing pages compared to doing it in WordPress or so on. So everything is in one place with the forms. The analytics is another really big like plus with doing it in HubSpot. So you will by default get all of the analytics. You can put it on your dashboard, and it's easier to follow how your landing page are doing and the conversion rates and so on. And of course, there's so many CMS systems, so you might have a perfectly good CMS system, but generally keeping it in one place, especially if you're a large team, make things a lot easier.
Yeah, and I absolutely love to do landing pages in HubSpot because it's so easy. I know I've been using so many different marketing automation tools where you get like errors and you struggle and it doesn't look good. But yeah, I don't know, but HubSpot is really, I think it's the best one for creating landing pages. And as you say, with the statistics and everything, that everything is so integrated.
Yeah, I should mention also one thing that's perhaps not in your daily routines, but depending on how your web looks like, but if you're migrating to a new web, it can be a very simple situation if you have landing pages and blogs and so on a different platform, so you just have to restyle it rather than moving all of those. It can be hundreds of pages to another platform and redoing it. So that could also be something to think about.
I hope that answer your question. If it doesn't, you're very welcome to write again. Okay, so I should perhaps remove that one. And then we have one here. Workflows only works in HubSpot. Pro, not starter, right?
Right. Yeah, so workflows is when asking what's the difference between the different HubSpot versions. Like it's pretty complicated because they have these different versions, Pro and Starter, and they have like 4 different levels. And also they have different licenses for paid seats and so on. But generally, yes, Workflow is part of the Pro suite.
Yes, and then we have on the other topic that we talked about, landing pages. How will the landing page affect Google ranking when you have one in HubSpot and one on your own page?
So if you work with landing pages in HubSpot, what we usually do is that we create a subdomain on your website. So for example, we have, I think ours, we use, for example, blog.brightvision.com. So as long as you work within a subdomain on your domain, which that is not an issue for the SEO. You will keep your SEO for your site. So just use the subdomain, and you will do that with the DNS settings. You can ask your IT or ask us for help.
Yeah, she was happy with the answer. Yeah, thank you so much for the question. And we have one final question here. What is your best tip to get the sales department involved in HubSpot?
Yeah, that's a really great question, and that is one of the hardest things in some companies. So we haven't spoken that much about processes, but they are as important as the system itself and these tips. So it is hard, but I think it's about working together more closely. So set up workshops, find alliances. As we said, if you have a big sales department, all of those won't be collaborating with you guys. Like you have to start with the ones that you can work close together with, and from there you can move on and possibly get the whole sales team with you. So find some easy targets, or we should put it in the sales department, and start working close together.
Yeah, and I would like to add too, like we talked about the HubSpot marketing module today, but there's also HubSpot sales modules that is amazing. So getting your sales team to start working with that will bring all of the teams to the same platform, and then you will look at the same data. You will understand like the journey of a cold lead turning into a deal, and the sales will understand how you work with the inbound marketing. You will see how they work with the follow up and so on. And yeah, so it's really that's a really good tip.
Yeah, and also that is why we work with leads as a goal in many cases. So of course, I mean, sales often only see the value when they see business. So being good at marketing and generating new business, that will also help in collaborating closer with sales.
And they think it's exciting too. Like they can, if I set up a notification to a salesperson when a inbound lead is generating a deal, they will like, oh wow, this inbound lead is generating a deal. Where did it come from? So it will also like engage them into your marketing processes. So yeah, I think we're a little bit over time, but yeah, so but if you want to stay and you have more questions, then please just type them in.
Yeah. Or reach out
to us
afterwards.
Yeah, we're happy to chat. I will send out the recorded version if you want to show this webinar for someone else in your team. But yeah, okay, Fredrik, thank you so much for your time. I hope you enjoyed the webinar, and just let us know if you need help or have any questions.
Thank you very much.
Have a wonderful day. Thank you.